This is Taiwan Insider, a weekly news roundup brought to you by Radio Taiwan International. I'm Andrew Ryan.
And I'm Natalie So, and here's your week in a minute.
Typhoon Mitag swept past Taiwan on Monday, injuring 12 and knocking out power to tens of thousands of homes. Taiwanese horror film Detention is making a splash at the box office, and it's just picked up 12 nominations at Taiwan's Oscars, the Golden Horse Awards. The spookiest thing about the movie is that it's based on a true 1947 incident that still haunts Taiwan today. Hong Kong singer and activist Denise Ho got splashed with red paint in Taipei on Sunday. She was here for a pro-Hong Kong rally. Now she's planning to sue the two men who allegedly threw the paint. A machine that simulates emergency situations for doctors, and a bicycle that uses pedal power to charge your cell phone. These are just two inventions featured at the recent Taiwan Innotech Expo. Plus, have a look at this bridge. On Tuesday, something catastrophic happened to it. So where is it, and what happened? We'll have the full story at the end of today's Taiwan Insider. And that's your week in a minute.
Every week at the top of the show, we each come up with a word of the week that we think describes the news this week. So Andrew, you ready to guess my word?
Yes. What do you have,
Alrighty.
Natalie? Dune, dislike, disabled, distance, distribute, distress.
That's right, distress. Okay, so it's obvious that Hong Kong society is still in distress as we see the escalation of violence and protests there. And we'll be talking with a renowned Hong Kong journalist, Frank Ching, about how he thinks China will end the unrest in Hong Kong. Also, we'll be talking about how Taiwan has helped animals in distress over the years. As we're leading up to World Animal Day, we're talking about Taiwan's protection of endangered species. And also, there was a bridge in distress this week. We'll be showing you footage at the end of the show today.
All right, that's a great word, Natalie. Well, you've come up with something slightly more negative. I've tried to go for something a little bit more
Good,
positive.
I'm glad.
Yeah, let's see what we have. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, lollipop. No.
Lollipop.
Long-standing. Longevity.
Yes.
Wow.
Longevity. Now, the reason why I
like
chose
that.
the word longevity is because we are hoping for longevity of our animals.
That's right.
Because World Animal Day is just around the corner. But also, next Monday, we're going to be celebrating Senior Citizens Day here in Taiwan. So we've got longevity on mind.
That's
and we'll
great.
be talking about that a little later in our show.
We now turn to our top story. As China celebrated National Day on Tuesday, protests became violent in Hong Kong. People in Taiwan also took to the streets in solidarity with Hong Kong. Let's take a look. This past Sunday, tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets in Taiwan amidst the rain to show support for Hong Kong. At a rally in Taipei, two pro-unification supporters threw red paint on Hong Kong singer and democracy activist Denise Ho. Ho is suing them for intimidation and other crimes. Meanwhile, mass protests continued throughout Hong Kong over the weekend and on Tuesday, China's National Day. Violence has been escalating as protesters threw petrol bombs and police dispersed protesters with tear gas. Protesters lifted up 5 fingers, a symbol of their 5 demands. They are calling for an independent inquiry into police brutality, amnesty for arrested protesters, no classification of protesters as rioters, universal suffrage, and Carrie Lam's resignation. The violence reached a new height on National Day. A policeman shot a protester with live fire for the first time. Protesters were attacking police officers when the shot was fired. The victim who fell to the ground is an 18-year-old high school student. The police officer shot him at point-blank range in the chest. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The police said the shot was made in self-defense. At least 25 police officers and 66 protesters were injured, and 180 people were arrested on Tuesday.
So what is the endgame for the protests in Hong Kong, and does Beijing have a strategy? Now, one person believes that Beijing does have a strategy, and that is renowned Hong Kong professor and journalist Frank Ching. Recently, Natalie sat down with him and asked him whether he thinks that the protesters' 5 demands will be met.
The Hong Kong government doesn't have the authority to grant universal suffrage in Hong Kong. It's up to the Chinese government. And as for an amnesty, I think it's very difficult because some of these people who have been arrested, undoubtedly they are guilty of offenses, some of them serious offenses. And I think it would be difficult for any government to say, okay, we won't press charges.
What's going to be happening at the end of this?
That's a very good question. At the end of the protests will come to an end at some point. And I think that China will increase its control in Hong Kong. So far it's been political control. Now I think China is going to increase its economic control over Hong Kong. You've seen how China has been able to act against Cathay Pacific, the big 4 accounting firms. It's like any company that has any business ties in the mainland, China can control. So what needs to happen is for China itself to realize that it should not do these things, because it needs Hong Kong as an international financial center. That what's good for Hong Kong is good for China. And also I refer to China's concern about its international image. So I think China should realize that its image very much has to do with how it deals with Hong Kong. And if it treats Hong Kong well, the world will think well of China. If it treats Hong Kong badly, it will affect the way the world looks at China.
Friday, October 4th is World Animal Day, which is part of a global movement to raise the status and welfare of animals. Now, in recent decades, Taiwan has made much progress in animal rights, but it was once dubbed Diewan, D-I-E for die, because of its illegal trade in animal parts. So how did Taiwan go from being called Diewan to being praised for its progress in animal rights? That's the topic of today's Taiwan Explained. In today's Taiwan Explained, I'm going to tell you why Taiwan was once called Diewan and how it made progress in animal rights.
All right, Natalie, we have a minute on the clock. You ready?
Yep.
Go.
All right. In the early 1990s, Taiwan was dubbed Diewan for its illegal trade of rhino horns and tiger bones, which were used for Chinese medicine. The U.S. placed trade sanctions on Taiwan in 1994. Taiwan then cracked down on this illegal trade and started a wildlife protection campaign. Within just 3 years, the U.S. Secretary of the Interior lifted sanctions and praised Taiwan for its progress. One reason for the progress was the implementation of Taiwan's Wildlife Protection Act, which marks its 30th anniversary this year. Now, the act says that protected wildlife should not be disturbed, abused, hunted, killed, trade, exhibited, displayed, owned, imported, exported, raised, or bred. Penalties for harming protected wildlife are up to 5 years in jail and fines of up to 2.5 million NT dollars. The act also has laws protecting other wildlife. Now, animal rights activists are calling on the government to help endangered species flourish and multiply. I think I got it.
Perfect. That's fantastic. That's today's Taiwan Explained. Now, Natalie, Taiwan does have another endangered species, which is called the leopard cat, right?
That's right.
And I know that you out there, you love a cat video, don't you? So we're going to show you now a story about how a motorist recently saved 2 leopard cat kittens. Let's have a look.
At just a few hundred grams each, they could easily be mistaken for ordinary kittens. But these are no house cats. They are leopard cats, creatures in danger of disappearing from Taiwan's wilderness. One estimate puts the number of wild leopard cats in Taiwan at fewer than 500. These 2 were also in danger when a caring human happened to pass by. While driving down a Miaoli County road, a local motorist noticed a dog barking at the roadside ditch. Pulling over to see what the dog was barking at, the motorist found the 2 leopard cats. At first, they seemed to be ordinary cats, but a closer inspection showed that their ears were rounder than ordinary cats' ears. The motorist realized that these were protected leopard cats and called the county's Animal Care and Health Office to report the pair of kittens. After a checkup, which showed them to be in good health, the pair was moved to the Endemic Species Research Institute in central Taiwan, where they will be released back into the wild.
This week on Hashtag Taiwan, RTI social media guru Leslie Liao joins us again. Hey,
Hi, Leslie.
Hey guys.
What do you have for us this week?
All right, I have a video really quickly. I'm gonna close my eyes and ears because I'm a big weenie, but here you guys go.
Okay.
还是害怕想起来。
事情都过去了，就当一切没发生过。
You okay over there, Leslie?
Is it over? Is it?
He's in distress.
I'm in a bit of distress.
He's in distress.
Anyway, that was Taiwanese horror film Detention, based on the video game of the same name, which was released in 2017. Now, this movie has been very, very popular because it tells a distinctly Taiwanese story during Taiwan's White Terror period, which was marked by oppression and martial law. This is the official movie poster right here. And the tagline for the movie is, "Did you forget or are you afraid to remember?" Now, I need you guys to remember that because it's going to tie into hashtag today.
Okay.
Anyway, this movie poster has been very popular online, and people have been making their own parodies and iterations, and oh, are they funny and relatable. Check this one out. Boss's line.
Line as in the social media app.
As
Line.
in the
Right.
very popular messaging app here in Taiwan. Now, this poster kind of pokes fun at the anxiety one might feel when their supervisors are looking for them, especially during off hours.
Yes.
The tagline reads, "Did you forget to reply or are you afraid to remember?"
I think this resonates with pretty much anyone that uses Line at work. I mean, we all have
We
it,
all have
right?
groups, right?
I
Work
would
groups
never miss a text from RTI, but I definitely find this relatable in my life before, long
We
ago,
love all of our line messages.
in the
right?
past. Anyway, with the long upcoming weekend for the National Day, county governments are actually getting in on a piece of this pie, and they're reminding people to go home, especially Pingdong County government.
Aw.
Get that?
Whoa.
Grandma.
Return home, it says.
Oh, 返乡. Okay.
Yeah, return home. And the tagline reads, "Did you miss out on buying a train ticket, or did no one invite you to watch the local fireworks?"
Right. The fireworks in Pingdong this year.
Message aside, I just love how there's this elderly woman staring ominously into the camera, beckoning people to come home. It's so creepy and appropriate. I don't know how the city government thought of it, but kudos to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the impressive thing about Detention is that in 2 weeks, it's made almost 200 million new Taiwan dollars, which is a huge milestone for any Taiwanese produced movie.
That's right.
And some people are latching onto the popularity to spread a good message, like saving the environment. Microplastics. Facebook group Lifeholic asks you, microplastics. Are you sick of ingesting them, or did you have no idea you've been eating them at all?
Wow.
Isn't that poignant?
That's a little scary.
Yes, scary.
I saved the best for last, and I like to show you my favorite at the end. I like to call it the Leslie Liao pick of the week. And what's the pick of the week this week? Well, it says return. What is this telling you to return? Library books. This brilliant iteration was created by New Taipei City Library, and it really resonates with me because I never returned my library books as a kid.
Confession time.
They ask you, did you forget to return your book, or do you have no intention of doing so?
Oh, Leslie.
For me, it was somewhere in the middle of those two.
Well, you know, my mom's a librarian, so she's probably looking right now. I'm sorry on behalf
Bad
of Leslie.
There's a lot of scary things going on for me during this episode of Hashtag. I don't like this.
Well, I
That's
think
great.
it's pretty incredible. This all started with a video game, right? And it's become such a success.
Yeah,
It's
and I mean,
really
I think
cool.
this also is based on a really good poster idea, and it's based on a very popular movie.
And a good
It's been
slogan.
nominated for 12, Taiwanese Oscars.
Really?
The
Golden Horse Awards.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's a perfect combination, the perfect storm for something to go viral on the internet.
absolutely.
Yes. If you're not afraid of horror flicks, you might want to check it out.
It's been a very, very good, very good. I can't do it.
Okay, thanks, Leslie. That's hashtag Taiwan for this week. And do follow us on social media. We hope to hear from you. Do like us and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
This coming Monday in Taiwan is the Double Ninth Festival, which we celebrate here as Senior Citizens Day. So in today's Taiwan By Number, we're going to be asking Natalie and Leslie a lot of questions about numbers related to senior citizens.
Sounds good?
Are you guys ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
You're looking nervous, Leslie.
My dad's one. I don't want to end up insulting him.
Oh, no, he's very young. He's not a senior citizen yet. So, first question. Out of the 23 million people in Taiwan, how many centenarians or people over 100 are there?
Out of 23 million, I want to say 110?
110, okay.
I'm going to go way over that. 2,500?
2,500, 2,500. All right, those are two very different
That's
answers.
optimistic answer.
And we're going to have the answer after this report. I want to play for you a story of a 108-year-old woman who recently got a very interesting birthday present. Let's have a look.
This Peking opera performance is being put on for an audience of one, 108-year-old Grandma Li, who has been bedridden for years. To celebrate her birthday, the Huashan Social Welfare Foundation decided to help make one of her dreams come true, inviting the Peking opera actress to give a private bedside performance. The cap and gown Grandma Li wore as she listened and watched attentively may be a bit confusing to non-Chinese speakers, but there is a reason for them. In Chinese, centenarians like her are known as Renrui, and with her advanced age, Grandma Li has graduated from Renrui University, so to speak. Foundation staff prepared a birthday cake, and despite her old age, Grandma Li was able to say thank you all in a loud, clear voice. Grandma Li's son lives with her in a fifth-floor New Taipei apartment. He says he hopes to find the apartment closer to ground level so that his mother will be able to go see the doctor and get some sunshine outside more easily. Grandma Li's difficulty with housing is not unique. Over 14% of Taiwan's population is over the age of 65, and the foundation says the government should help these seniors find suitable, affordable housing.
Isn't that sweet?
That is so sweet. 108 years old. That's amazing. She
It
looks
is.
good.
She was watching that performance very intently.
Yeah, that is very sweet of them too.
And she had a really strong voice when she responded. She's like, 谢谢大家. So cute. All right, well, before the video, I asked you, how many centenarians are there in Taiwan? That's people over 100. Leslie, you said 110. Natalie, you said 2,500. All right, well, let's have a look at the answer.
3,649. Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
I am really surprised to see that. I actually looked it up on the Ministry of Interior figures. What's interesting is there are more women than men. About 55% of them are women, and 45% of them are men. So people are living longer and longer in Taiwan. The next question is, I want to ask you, what is the average life expectancy here in Taiwan?
77?
77, okay.
I want to say 74?
74?
0.1?
All right.
Okay.
Gonna throw everything out there.
Interesting guesses. Let's have a look at the average life expectancy for both men and women together here in Taiwan. Let's have a look.
Oh, good. 80.7. That's
Wow.
great.
Yes. Now, actually, you guys got kind of close to the male numbers. For men, it's 77.5.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking men.
Yep. And then for women, it's 84.
Wow, that's a big difference. So it's 7-year difference?
Yeah. And I think the reason is because women know how to take care of themselves. Men don't know what they're doing.
I have absolutely no idea what I do when I go home every day.
They internalize the stress more, I think. And then
Yeah.
we chat with our friends, we take hot baths.
Women are more social, yeah, for sure. So I think we need to start taking care of ourselves now, Leslie.
I think so.
So not only are people living longer, they're actually working longer too. So my next question is, I want to ask you, how old is the oldest doctor who is still practicing in Taiwan?
Oh, I think I remember a story about that. Is it 103?
96?
96? Those are two good guesses. Let's have a look at the answer.
98. Okay, right
Wow.
in between. Wow,
Is-
that's amazing. He's still practicing.
And I have to introduce you. This
is
is
awesome.
Xie Chunmei. He's from Miaoli County, from Gongguan Township. He has his own clinic, and people describe his injections as being 快很准. So it's like fast and like very accurate.
To the point.
Yep, to the point. He gets it.
On target.
And also, you know, this is amazing. He has a nursing assistant, and when the nursing assistant's not there, he can actually check in his own patients, then see them, and then even deliver the meds to them as well.
He has so much experience, right?
Super, super experienced, and I think it's probably at this point it's like motor memory.
Yeah,
right?
That's great that he's
Wow.
still like so active.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that keeps people going for so long is if you're, you know, constantly using your body and your mind.
That's right. You feel like you're making a contribution to this world, right? So you keep
Absolutely.
on going.
Now, a lot of times when we think of senior citizens, of course, we think of longevity. That's one of our words here, longevity. I'm not going to ask you about that, I'm going to ask you about another definition of the number 9, the original definition which led to the founding of the holiday, the Double 9 Festival. This is a tough one.
I just think of a long time. So, but that's not it, right?
A lot? Abundance?
Abundance.
Jojo. Jojo means a long time, right?
Yep.
Like forever.
Aside from that, what else does it mean? The original.
Is there another meaning?
I have no idea.
Joe.
I'm drawing.
I mean, wine?
Alcohol? Joe. That's a very good guess. All right, shall we look at the answer?
Yeah, let's look at the answer.
Let's have a look at the answer. Yang
Really?
energy.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So they say that of all the numbers, the number 9 has the most yang energy. And by that, I mean yin and yang, right?
That's positive, right?
It's the masculine energy. It's a very fiery energy. And actually, in this case, because it's the 9th month and the 9th day, it's the day in the year that has more male energy than any other day. And they say this is very dangerous.
Oh.
So as a result, people have all sorts of different traditions to keep them, safe from the diseases and the devil.
Are there more crimes occurring that day?
I don't know if they're crimes. I think it's more like disease and like the devil.
I'll be the first to say I haven't been feeling particularly energetic in any sort of way this month.
Well, let me offer you some tips. Quickly, you can go climb a high mountain. That sounds like I'm telling you
to get rid of some of the young
get lost,
energy?
right? Yeah, I think it's to get you farther away from the earth. Yeah. It's also related to the original traditions where people were trying to escape from evil spirits. Also, you can have some chrysanthemum wine, and if you take another look at that photo, you can wear that zhuyu. It's a kind of plant. You can wear that on your person, and that's supposed to keep you
You know so much about Chinese culture, Andrew.
Just when I look it up. So happy double nights to both of you.
Okay, well, thanks, Andrew. And that is our Taiwan by number for today.
And finally today, we're in Taiwan. Now at the end of Week in a Minute today, we showed you a photo and asked if you knew where it was. Let's take one more look at that photo.
It's located in one of the 3 biggest fishing harbors in Taiwan. Something shocking happened to that bridge on Tuesday.
Where in Taiwan is this? Let's have a look at this video.
The Nanfang Ao Bridge in Yilan County, northeastern Taiwan, suddenly collapsed on Tuesday morning, crushing 3 fishing boats under its weight. An oil tanker on the bridge tumbled into the water and caught fire. The driver was lucky to survive the collapse, but those on the boats weren't so lucky. A total of 6 fishermen have been found dead. All of them were migrant workers from Indonesia and the Philippines. The financial losses are also extensive. 556 fishing boats are trapped inside the harbor, bringing this major fishing harbor to a standstill. Members of the military are assessing the feasibility of using underwater explosives to clear a path through the wreckage. The Nanfang Ao Bridge is the 5th bridge to collapse in Taiwan over the past 33 years. While authorities have yet to determine the cause of Tuesday's collapse, all 5 accidents took place during or after a typhoon or flood.
Thanks for joining us for this inside look at Taiwan. Be sure to follow us on social media.
And leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. For Taiwan Insider, I'm Natalie So.
I'm Leslie Liao.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. See you next week.